Hello, you just reached MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. We're currently tying up phone lines and burning through cell minutes to get you closer to the guys on top of the boxes and over the wall down on Pit Road. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Sammi Jo Francis and Rocko Williams.
Welcome to another episode of MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. I'm Sammi Jo Francis.
And I'm Rocko Williams.
It was a very exciting week for multiple reasons.
Yes.
Multiple reasons.
Do tell.
But first, I just want to give myself a pat on the back because I deserve it.
Okay.
I believe if we can go back to last week's episode, which we won't, but you can tune into that later. I said that Kyle Busch was going to get number 3, so we should focus on him getting number 4 consecutively.
You did, and he did get number 3.
No, so what does that make me?
You're a psychic.
No.
You're right.
There.
Good
I
job,
can rest
Sammy.
easy.
You're right. It was exciting to see Kyle.
And a
get his
Saturday
third.
night race, which I enjoy those because I'm a nocturnal person. What'd you think of it?
It was awesome. It was an exciting race from beginning to end. Just watching the cars and the storylines of cars being from the rear, coming to the front, tires being an issue, long green flag runs, but not your typical long green flag runs because it was still interesting. You saw a lot of passing, a lot of tire fall off, and you didn't see a lot of pit stops initially in the first three parts of the race, but it heated up really quick in that last segment, not to mention all the penalties on pit road for uncontrolled tires and stuff like that.
I know a thing about that.
The pit stops weren't very fast, and there was a lot going on. It was just an exciting race, and it was great to see Kyle Busch get his 3rd in a row and going for 4 next week in Talladega.
So when I worked for local news and I would cover him, he was always great with media, but you could tell it wasn't the easiest interview to get because he's always on the move. But one thing that I do love about Rowdy Busch is that he gives credit where credit is due. And in his post-race interview, he said, my pit team really put this together for me. They really helped me out.
Yeah, they were there.
Which, just shows how important pit crews are and how important our show is.
We should know that already.
I mean, we do. I just like to be right. So that's twice that I'm right. So we do have Kenyatta Houston on the show today.
The captain.
Yes.
The captain as we know him.
You guys are going to be musically entertained as well as visually entertained. And then we also have a feature that I may or may not have shown a new skill set.
Yes, I agree. You got to stay tuned.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And then we have some homework to go over because, I'm always getting homework, so I just need Rocko to turn around and read the 2 top starred ones for me.
Baby Girl and Drunk on the Plane. I'm so nervous right now.
What could this be, Rocko?
Well, I have a baby girl, so hey. That's
I'm going to stop you before you incriminate yourself, okay? You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Baby Girl is my favorite song by Sugarland.
Oh.
And Drunk on a Plane is a song by Dierks Bentley. Do you know what those two have in common?
The Country 500.
Look at him go. He's learning so much. Okay, so if you haven't gotten your tickets already, the Country 500 is Memorial Day weekend, May 25th through the 27th. That's at Daytona. So you can see that they've got Tyler Farr, Billy Currington, Randy Houser, and so many more. You can get your tickets at country500.com if you're not going to be in Charlotte. And we'll be back with more Crew Call right after this.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
The Country 500 Music Festival is back at Daytona International Speedway. With Toby Keith, Chris Stapleton, Dierks Bentley, Sugarland, Billy Currington, and so much more. Country 500 Memorial Day weekend, May 25th, 26th, and 27th. For tickets and information, visit country500.com. Sponsored in part by Budweiser.
If it's stock car racing, there's only one king and there's only one bourbon good enough to earn his number. Whiskey 43. It's a celebration of perfection, a true one-of-a-kind, and you can get your limited edition bottle today at whiskey43.com. A portion of the proceeds goes directly to the Petty Family Foundation. Taste the only bourbon fit for a king. Whiskey 43. Find your nearest retailer or shop online at whiskey43.com. Whiskey 43 reminds you to drink responsibly.
Thank you for listening to our program. If you like what you hear, tell your friends. If you don't, tell them we're NASCAR Live. You're being transferred back to Sammi Jo and Rocko.
Sammi, thanks for coming.
Uh-huh.
I felt bad.
About what?
Based off our conversation last time, I said you could not tire change. I said you were more of the model type, not the athletic type.
Yeah.
I set something up here at Rev Racing.
Okay.
I'm going to have you change tires today, and I totally hope you forgive me for my comments.
I'll think about it.
Let's go.
All right. After you.
We're going to hit lug nuts, and it's time to get serious, all right? I need max effort here.
Are we bungee jumping afterwards?
What this is gonna prevent you from going really, really fast until you get a feel for it.
We're managing your speed here, is what Coach is saying.
And our guys practice with it to build up their forearms and build up their accuracy.
Okay. Clearly you don't know how much muscle I have.
So can you explain to Sammi how we time the speed of hitting a lug nut?
Now that we've been doing it for so long, we can do it with our eyes. We know how fast somebody's hands are going pretty much, almost down to the half a second. But what we started out with 20 years ago was using this metronome that gives us a sound readout of how fast that's going. Okay? And we time that. Okay? So we timed that beat. I used to be a tuba player in the band.
Okay.
And I wanted to figure out what instrument we could use, and so that we came up with this right here. So that is going about 0.88, about 0.9.
Okay.
So we know if somebody can hit at this speed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 0.9 seconds.
0.9 seconds.
Of getting.
Okay.
That's what we need you to do today.
Now,
I want Sammi to hit 1.5 seconds. Sure what
So
that
slow
looks
it down, okay?
Sure what that looks like.
1.5. We're doing it in 1.5 seconds, and that's super fast, believe it or not.
But what if I can't do it?
Well, we're going to see in a minute.
Can't is not in our vocabulary, Sammi.
Well, duh.
This is MRN.
Okay, all right.
Just a little bit.
I don't know if I can do that. That's really slow.
There you go. Keep going. Get the rhythm. It's like dancing.
To stop. Now, you have to do it in rhythm.
There you go.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1.
All right. You did good. Like I said, it's hard to do it on the stationary
Patronize me.
stand-up. No, you did well. Anyways, we're going to teach you how to hit them for real.
Okay.
From your knees. Marcus, can you get down and just show her how she's supposed to look while she's hitting that in? So your knees are about shoulder width apart.
Okay.
You see its feet. You see the spacing, how far he is. I know you have
He's
your white
far.
shoes. All right. So Marcus, just simulate hitting.
Said I have long arms.
So as he hits, this is what you're going to look like. Give me 20. Give me 20.
Like I'm gonna hit you like I mean it?
You just get home, you don't shoot up your stiletto.
Oh, my poor baby.
That's my girl. Come on, hit him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you mess up, don't worry, just keep going. All right, give me 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're out of the practice phase now. Rocko will explain that.
So, we're removing your binds, Sammi. You're free.
I'm free.
You're free.
This is where I take off?
You're free, girl.
Yeah, good practice.
Hey,
I made it.
You did good.
Regular changers practice, they practice with that
Yeah.
and on our simulator there for at least a month before they actually hit live lug nuts.
I'm in the advanced program.
Oh,
We're fast tracking you. How long does it take a tire changer to finally figure it out and to make it to the Cup Series?
Probably about 3 years.
3 years of this.
3 years.
So how long did it take me? 3 minutes?
You're fast tracking.
Okay. No, I'm not ready.
You can do it.
All right. That's really turned up. I don't know if y'all know that. And then do it?
Start here, turn it
Okay.
on, and then hit them. Good job. Let's see. Let's
That's Sammy.
Now you got a hand.
Bottom left.
You got that
Hey,
hand.
but you get the feel of it.
Go back and get it, okay?
We're leading the race. Money stop. What you got? Go back and hit him, Sammy. Get him off. Get it.
Go set it. Good
That's
job.
my girl.
See, I
One
didn't
more
want a
time.
tire penalty. Best coach in the world.
She did an excellent job.
She did.
She did
That's
an
right. So
excellent
am I
job.
replacing Rocko?
No, everybody's replacing Rocko.
So anyways, I take back what I said.
All right.
You're totally capable of being a tire changer.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, I got some more to change on my personal car, so I'll see you later.
I'm impressed.
All right.
I'm looking at you a whole different way now, girl.
You should.
Grunt style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt style, and this we'll defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com or on the track this week at Talladega Superspeedway.
In order to maximize a vehicle's performance and efficiency, the proper adjustments need to be made based on the road ahead. That's true for both race car drivers on the track and for truck drivers hauling freight on the highway. But if your truck's equipped with a Detroit DT12 automated manual transmission with intelligent powertrain management, adjustments are made automatically based on GPS terrain mapping, maximizing performance and efficiency. Don't just want better business solutions, demand them. Learn more at demanddetroit.com.
Join MRN as we travel through the life of NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack.
I won races that I never thought I'd win.
From growing up under the Earnhardt name to super speedway wins to Whiskey River, we dive into everything Dale Jr.
He's Rain Man for NASCAR history.
You know, we weren't the typical family that got to sit down to dinner together.
Tune in to Junior's Journey, available on iTunes for download only on the Motor Racing Network.
I'm in the pits where you find the real stars in NASCAR where the real men are. I'm in the pits where you better go hard or you just might lose your job. It's my life in the pits. So many trips, too many to remember. Leave out in February. They go
So cute.
We're dancing back here.
Oh yeah.
We're in the pits, Sam.
Yeah, in the pits. Well, welcome back to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. I've got Kenyatta, or Yada the Captain, in studio.
Cap, whatever.
But first, I want to, actually, you're in the perfect position. Could you just give me a little pat right there?
You did well. You did
Thank
very
you.
well changing tires.
But I want to hear from the expert, because you are the tire changer for Jamie McMurray. How do you think I did?
You did really good. You did really good.
I'm paying him later for
yeah,
that.
yeah. You had a good support system right here.
I did.
I did. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Phil Horton.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah. So, but you got to feel what it feels like. Life in the pits. That's the first-hand taste of it. So good job, Jamie.
And what he's speaking of is the song playing in the background was written and recorded by Kenyatta Houston. He's been in the music game.
It's not his only song either.
No, it's not. He's been in the music game for a while. He's been a pit crew member for a while, competing at a high level.
Right.
And just
wait. I want to let you continue, but I need a break. I did a lot of work at
you
Red
did
Racing,
do a lot
so
of work.
Take it away.
You did do a lot of work, Sammy. You did really well, and just wanted to. You should know firsthand. It goes a lot into being a successful tire changer. So, as a coach alluded to, it takes 3 years to become a successful tire changer,
Yes,
and with all the not for you. But but with all the changes, with the 5-man pit crew and the spec guns, and I think one of the most important things that is being left out is the viewpoints from the actual crew members and what is happening on pit road and adjustments that is being made. And I just want to start off with hand speed. In the video, we saw a snippet of us timing hand speed with a metronome.
Right.
What are your viewpoints on hand speed? What is your hand speed? What is your ideal hand speed during a race? Do you have certain marks? Are you given certain marks?
Am I faster than you?
Well, yeah, the hand speed wasn't bad right there, James. But the thing about hand speed,
video in the back. While he's talking?
The thing about hand speed is not all about how fast your hands can go, but how fast your hands can go under control.
Yeah.
So your hand speed. Control is going to be different than my hand speed control.
Course.
So a lot of times when a changer watches another changer that has blazing hand speed, If he tries to do that, he's going to stumble because it's faster than what it needs to be. What the stop normally needs to be a successful pit stop is right at a second. And with the way things are now, 1 second hand speed is going to be more successful than trying to do a 0.7, which you.
And that's a great point. I'm going to have Donald, if you can play the on-1 of Marcus Horton. We had a tire changer on site, and as you see in this video, this is his hand speed going on, and we timed it right at a 0.8. And if you can just loop this video over and over again, Donald, if you don't mind, but it's a 0.8 hand speed, and during a race with the adrenaline flowing, what is your ideal hand speed that you would want to hit at?
Right. It all depends on your gun. Your pit gun that you're comfortable with. Last year when we had the in-house built guns, 0.8 was fine.
Okay.
Because we practiced with them. We knew how tight we was getting. We know exactly what air pressure to run. Getting used to this new piece, you're going to need that 1 second hand speed.
So you
to
want
make sure.
1.0.
Right.
If you can show on 2, Donald, and loop that video as well. This is a 1.0 hand speed, and this is what you would say is what you need to be at.
You can see that wheel's tight right
exactly.
there. The 0.8, you may get 6 out of 7 stops with good lugs, but it's that one stop, that one lug that's going to make that difference.
Which brings me to the point, when you do have a lug nut that you might think isn't tight, what's the protocol involved? What happens then? You just finished the tire stop. You think you might have one loose. What do you do next?
You kind of hope and pray that he doesn't say he has a vibration. So when that happens, and it happens, it doesn't happen a lot, believe it or not. But depending on what track you're at, you're going to get different loads on the tires. Depending on what track you're at, the driver may immediately come up and be like, I have a vibration.
Yes.
And if within like 10 or 15 laps, if the driver comes with a vibration, the changer's heart should pump.
Yep.
The crew chief's going to look down. Did you get them tight?
Yes.
And if you know you missed one, because we got the film, you can't just say, yeah, I got it.
No,
you got to say, no, I did miss one. But you just go ahead, and usually I'll go to the car chief and be like, yeah, I got 4 that time, I missed one, this and that. So they know now, okay.
If you have one loose during the race and it's not the final stop, would you let that one go? How many lug nuts would you have loose before you let the crew chief know you need to come back in?
Well, you always, my thing, and anybody, is different than me. But if I, if something happens, cars drop, I miss lugs, and end up pulling off with 4, it's not purposely done, pulling off with 4. I'll go directly to the car chief. I got 4 on that one. And then we'll listen up. We'll listen up for the driver. If he drives 50 laps and then causes vibration, no. That's not, it's tight. It's tight. But
see, that's great. That's great information. I'm glad you said that. And while I have you up here, Donald, if you could play the Amarola pit stop. You have issues on pit road.
Right.
Things happen. If you could loop this stop for me, Donald, you have the commentary coming from crew chiefs and drivers of what is going on, but I just feel like you need to get a perspective from the guys actually doing this. Initially, what I see here is on the right side of this car, the car fell down after he jacked it up.
Right.
I did see the rear tire changer rolling the jack into
the tire.
the car into the jack, and ultimately that allowed the car to fall back down, and he had to repump it. At the same time, what I do see from a crew perspective, I see the jackman as he jacked it up. The handle should be leaning up against the car, I believe. That can prevent some of that tire into the jack from happening. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. And I agree. And I've watched a lot of film.
Yeah.
And it's not always like the guys don't have the talent. These guys have the talent to do
Total
it.
talent. That jackman's been around a long time.
Right.
And they were running top 5 up here. The 10 car typically has not been known to run the top 5, especially in the past, but they're running very well this year. And they did rebound very strongly after this stop. These are the very veteran crew right
and
here.
These are, you can go back to, you can always go back to the change in the way the pit stop is, how it's choreographed.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, the fundamentals always, you always go to fundamentals. So if you have to pull a tire and set, you're going to have to, sometimes you have to take that tenth of a second to get that set right. And right here, the tire, it gets on the corner right
Yep.
there and just kind of rolls.
I even
right,
saw the
rolls
tire
up.
carrier hit it as well and knock it in there as well. These jacks are being tricked out where springs are being attached to this jack to
Right.
get the handle up.
To get the
There's
handle.
so many things being done to the jack. Now that attention isn't placed on the guns, the attention is put in elsewhere with these jacks. And which, just for time's sake, can we go to the Truex stop on his money stop, which is a very important stop for that race. Really changed the outcome
Money
of
stop's
the race
important.
for that car. And what I see here was on the left side, the car not getting up. And just from your viewpoint, I did see the possibility of the tire carrier / jackman performing a knuckle scraper. In my eyes,
What is that?
the knuckle scraper is when your knuckles scraped the ground because the car is not high enough, and you have to get that tire on. At the same time, I also see the jack, either one, two things going to happen. He didn't get a full pump on the left side, or two, the handle wasn't tight and the jack leaked back down, which is coupled with, this is a short track, right, Kenyatta? And
Yes.
the chains of short tracks are very long, which the droop in the left rear means you have to jack the car up extremely high, higher than normal to
right.
get that left side to drop.
So I wasn't there, and I wasn't on this crew going through this, but what I think could have happened here was that money stop, right?
Yep.
Rocko explained earlier how the race went on, and then, wasn't that many pit stops. There was a lot of green flag runs at the beginning of the race.
Then they
At the
started
end of the
coming.
race is
Boom,
where
boom,
everything
boom,
starts
boom.
boom, boom, boom.
You're right.
So if they cranked any rounds in this car during the race trying to get that 78 dialed in,
Great point.
that left side is not going to come up like normal.
Like it did earlier in the race.
A lot of times the only way to see it is when you have the problem, and it's just by chance and by feel that car didn't come all the way up, because he gave it a bump.
Yep,
he
he did.
he
And
gave
once
it a
again,
bump.
this is a veteran pit crew. He gave it a pump and a bump because initially he saw, and earlier in the race, he was jacking that left side on one pump, on one
Right,
stroke.
right. So he knew he gave it a bump.
He gave it a bump because he visually saw it wasn't up high enough.
Right.
Now, that's why I said maybe the handle wasn't tight and it leaked back down, because after he left the jack, or he flew the handle back up and went to index the tire, maybe it settled down a little bit more.
Yeah.
We don't know that for sure. He knows that. But
The other thing for people that don't know is when the tire comes out like this. When the tire carrier index is going in like this.
Yeah.
So it's a different angle. So just because the tire came out doesn't mean it's going to go back
That's why
in.
I said knuckle scraper.
Right, knuckle scraper.
You tire changer, you wouldn't know about that. You stick with the tire, leave the tire carrying to me. But that's the knuckle scraper, boy. You got to get low on that.
Yeah.
And which brings me to the point with Talladega next weekend with the low ride heights. I feel like, have y'all noticed any variations with the way you jack the left side up with the lower ride heights? Is that affecting the way the car comes up on the left rear? Because I have heard that it will be harder for the left rear to come out.
It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder because, like you said, low ride heights. So, the drivers and crew chiefs, they want that speed. And with those low ride heights, it don't always work out for us crew guys as far as doing the pit stop.
Yep. That's absolutely great points made.
Yeah.
And like I said, the crew's perspective on what happens based off of what he said. I'm not saying anything is told the wrong way.
Right.
But when I see the drivers, when I see the crew chiefs talk about what is going on in the stops, I just feel like it would come differently from the guys who are actually doing it. So you added some great points there, especially with the adjustments made during the car. And it also shows how important the crew chief is in setting up the car to facilitate a fast stop. Because every crew chief is better. Some crew chiefs are better than others at facilitating a fast stop. There's a lot of little idiosyncrasies you must do to the car to have a fast stop.
Can we show that last video one more time?
Yes.
I just want to, I
The
don't know if we
Truex
can
stop.
do that or not. Okay, so because it's a team sport, I think it's interesting because, like you said, once they go to the other side, that they have to, something goes wrong, because you can see these guys, the entire pit stop is hustle, hustle, hustle.
Yep.
And then they realize that they look so defeated on this side of the car.
Because it was the end of the stops and the end of the race.
Yeah, how do you bounce back from that?
Well,
and
you
not
can on
have
that. That's the money
money
stop.
stop.
There is no bounce back. You got to live with that all the way until Talladega.
I'm saying, are you mad at your teammates? Like, what's going on?
I would call it emotions. You don't get angry. You get emotional about the situation,
Right.
because you're with these guys all throughout the week, and you go through a rigorous practice.
These are the best of the best.
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody on pit road can do this. Can do a fast pit stop.
Right.
It's the crew that has the least amount of mistakes on pit road that comes out victorious in the pits. But it's not always because of talent. There's things that happen. These things happen.
Right.
Whoever can navigate these issues on pit, because you can't practice this.
Nope.
Yeah.
There's no
Can't
way
simulate that at
you
practice.
can't heat up the tires as hot as they are in practice. You can't set the car up. You want to get similar,
right?
But you cannot get the car the way
and
it
this
is.
stuff happens to everyone.
Yeah.
But the 78 car runs up front week after week.
Yeah.
That's why
rough.
these guys get paid the big bucks. They're the best of the best. They're always on the spotlight.
Well, Yada, can you stick around with us?
I'll stay around as long as I can. As
All right,
long as you
great.
guys have me.
Rocko, you're out. Yada, you're in. We'll be back with more MRN Crew Call right after this.
All right.
Chris Crockett here with one of the heads of our Toyota racing family, Martin Truex Jr.
Doing great, Chris. Thanks for asking.
I hadn't asked, but was about to.
Great second question, Chris. Car feels great, and no pressure because of last year's results.
How do you
know what you're about to ask?
Yeah, you're
blowing your mind. Relax, Chris. Being out in the lead is what I do best.
That is
amazing. I know.
NASCAR and Toyota Racing. With a family like this, who knows the places we'll go this season? Learn more at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
If it's stock car racing, there's only one king and there's only one bourbon good enough to earn his number. Whiskey 43. It's a celebration of perfection, a true one-of-a-kind, and you can get your limited edition bottle today at whiskey43.com. A portion of the proceeds goes directly to the Petty Family Foundation. Taste the only bourbon fit for a king. Whiskey 43. Find your nearest retailer or shop online at whiskey43.com. Whiskey 43 reminds you to drink responsibly.
Kyle Petty here. My friends at Click & Close, the official mortgage provider of NASCAR, have stepped up this year to support Victory Junction through the fastest lap of the race program on NASCAR radio. So join our team. Go to clickandclose.com/NASCAR today to donate $43 or more and help us give the gift of camp to children with serious medical conditions. That's clickandclose.com/NASCAR and just look for the Victory Junction logo. Thanks to Click & Close and NASCAR Radio for their support this season.
NASCAR got me feeling like a rock star.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel.
Hey, what song was that?
Living the Dream.
That was my favorite song.
Another one of his songs.
Yes.
Yeah. That was one of your
That's
first songs.
something I want to know about, because actually this relates to tire changing, because when I was doing that video, which, by the way, I talk a big game, but that was tough. That was even to it was very intimidating. But you have to have a rhythm when you do it. How much does that correlate with your music?
Well, a lot. You know, you have to have rhythm. Sometimes, I don't know if other Rocko have done it, but a lot of times when we're getting prepared for the race, we got the headphones on and, we're listening to music. We're getting.
Do you listen to your own music when you're getting ready?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I listen to those ATL artists that Rocko grew up on. And, like you guys had Migos around here before.
We walk it like you talk it.
Don't get him started, okay? He's a Migos fanatic. So how long have you been doing music?
Music for a long time, probably close
longer
to 20
than
years.
NASCAR?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What
See,
got
I was
you into
born.
NASCAR?
I was born in Bronx, New York, where hip hop, initially started and grew.
Yeah.
From the streets of New York City.
Yeah.
And when I moved down here to North Carolina, I saw it kind of, getting a little spread out here too.
Yeah.
Then when I got older, when I started getting equipment, because I'm more of an equipment fanatic than anything. I have video cameras, videography, editing, and all that good stuff. So that's what really got me into music.
Very cool. So we have new rules out today.
Yeah, a lot going
I'm going to
on
ask
today.
both of your opinions on it, because new rules on what the guns can use. Now, before it was
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
Only.
Okay, and this is on our rule board.
Yeah.
So on our rule board we have helium, nitrogen, and
and
carbon dioxide.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, basically, the rule states, Sammy, as you alluded to, is that you can only use nitrogen in the new spec mandated pit guns. So apparently, it came to the forefront that other gases were used, whether it was a helium, whether it was a gas mixture. The mixture is what I'm hearing the most of, which consisted of, as you stated and so eloquently wrote on the board, nitrogen, helium, and carbon dioxide. So that mixture allows the regulators to run at a lower pressure, and the recovery in between each lug nuts to be faster. So after you hit a lug nut, the recovery of the air.
When you use which one?
When you use the mixture. So basically, you have to run the pressure at the regulators with the spec gun
So
at
was
a certain
this essentially a loophole for people to go faster?
Yes. I mean, this mixture's been around for a long time.
Right, but I'm saying because the guns are regulated and this is a reoccurring topic for the season.
The guns mandate that you use nitrogen for the best overall performance.
Okay.
So if you use something else, if your car recommends 93,
risk.
Are you going to put 82 in it?
No, because I lease my car and that would be expensive.
This is interesting because, for one, I failed chemistry in high school, and there's a lot going on here. There's one thing about us tire changers. A lot of us, what we do, we focus so much on hitting lugs. You hit lugs earlier.
So what are you trying to say here? What I'm
trying to say is, when we get to the track, when we plug our hoses up, we're just going to hope these guns work and use what we got.
So do you know what your team was using?
No.
Okay.
No,
no.
I didn't even know. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know what this mixture was. I know what we grew up on.
Yeah.
What we came up on.
Yeah.
Is oxygen.
You just hit lug nuts.
But yeah.
But
you got the nitrogen. So
right.
We know about the nitrogen, but nitrogen, helium, CO2 is really way beyond anything that I knew.
What was I using?
So
yesterday.
Rocco's got access to some speed secrets out in
Hey.
pit road that
yes.
It's not just pit road. I put it in my car too. I put it in my tires. And like I say, I think the reason why the rule came out because, like I said, with all the attention put to these guns, you want to use what the gun manufacturers are mandating. At the same time, if there is something to be gained within the regulators and the air pressure and the recovery of the air pressure in between lug nut hits, that needs to be level as well. And if you're going to mandate the guns, you might as well mandate the gases that are used to spin those air motors as well.
To clarify, what is the new rule? What is it mandating now?
Nitrogen is the only gas that is able to
You can no longer
flow
use
through
a
the
mixture.
motors. No mixture. It has to be nitrogen.
But you want to know what will fix all that? Especially if you're like me and you don't understand chemistry.
What's that?
1 second pause.
1 second
1 second
pause?
hand speed.
Oh, and you're the king of that,
speed.
and that goes to the fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
We can have a whole show on that, let's not go there. But you're the king of the pause, and what he means by the pause is
not 1 second pause, but just a pause to gather yourself, get set, and don't.
That's
Which
a part
is
of the
what
fundamentals
Coach
of tire
Horton
changing.
was teaching yesterday.
Well, we're all products of that philosophy.
Yeah.
We look like brothers, but we think like brothers too.
Right.
But don't we look like brothers?
Wait, am I your sister?
No,
You're my sister.
Oh, okay, good.
You're my sister from another mother.
Right. All right, that's cool. Okay, so Talladega this weekend. The pole qualifying for MRN's coverage starts at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And then you've got the Xfinity Sparks Energy 300. That's 2:30 on Saturday is when our coverage starts. And, of course, we have the Geico 500 at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Quick tidbit. What do you think of Talladega? You like it?
Talladega is awesome. Yeah, I love Talladega.
Kyle Busch said you had a better chance hitting the Powerball.
But it's going to be interesting to see how Talladega, you're in a junior nation, It's going to be interesting to see how they feel without him.
Get her done.
Well, we'll have plenty to recap. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We will see you next week on MRN Crew Call. Tune in for all the coverage. And we'll have so much to cover next week.
Yes, we will.
See you next week.